Hello and welcome back to EQT. We are pitchside in the quarterfinals for Velociraptors QC against the London Unspeakables. This is, I believe, Velociraptors' first game of the day. The Unspeakables have bloodied themselves against Liverpool. Raptors looking as strong as always. Got a very, very strong lineup coming out. Captain Jay Holmes in keeper. With Geneva Chambers, Sam Withers, and Callum Lake, and the beating duo of Lucy Q and Dan Trick. Star-studded lineup to be sure. Meanwhile, the opposition coming on, the London Unspeakables, looking to prove that the big three in the UK is in fact the big four. They've been knocking on the door for a while. Although thus far they have yet to register defeats or register beatings against any of the big three, they continue to be a thorn in their side. How will they match up today? Their starting lineup is Alberto Salvador, Alex McCartney, Rudy Obasi Adams. I confess I don't know the female chaser on the far side. Douglas Bryant and Monique. There are a lot of big boys on this pitch. All three of the Unspeakables hard boundary accredited big boys are in the starting lineup. And referee Connor Doohan signals the start of the match. And the Velociraptors are first on bludger control and the quaffle. Lucy Q forcing an opening, taking out Douglas Bryant's legs. Holmes offloads to Callum Lake. Callum Lake misses. Geneva Chambers recovers possession. Callum Lake's on the loose ball. And he scores. A beat attempt was made by Doug Bryant. However, his teammate Alex McCartney got in the way, and it is 10-0 to the Raptors. Raptors, of course, defending British champions, Northern Division champions. London Unspeakables were the bronze medalists at the Southern Regional. Lucy Q operating around the sides of the pitch, looking to stir a little bit of chaos. Doug Bryant keeping one eye on her, as indeed you always have to. Booty Verconen, that was the other London Unspeakables chaser from the starting lineup that I didn't know, my bad. Alex McCartney with the quaffle on the far side of the pitch. Q and Bryant trade. McCartney manages to get the ball out, but Rudy can't quite get on the end of it. Sent back to Hoops for a back tackle attempt on Callum Lake. Legs attacking, looking for a lane through, and finally finds it on the far hoop. It is 2-0 to the Raptors. Chris Scholes-Lawrence coming on for Callum Lake. Raptors looking to do some quick subs. Slight pause for the camera movement. Monique Davis sighting up Lucy Q. Doug Bryant looking to force a lane against Dan Trick. Alex McCartney looking for an opportunity. Alberto left unmarked. McCartney mugs off Holmes and Q, and he's going through 1-2. Alberto Salvador's attempt is denied only because of the demolished hoop, and Chris Scholes-Lawrence is going to make the break. Geneva Chambers is down on the far side of the pitch, behind the Raptors hoops. So what we had there was a very, very almost successful attempt by the Unspeakables. Alberto Salvador's goal, as I said, was denied only because the hoop was demolished in front of him. Chris Scholes-Lawrence snaffled up the loose ball, has run the length of the pitch and put it in. The goal has yet to be called good though. I don't care. Both sides looking a bit less passy and a bit more drivey, to quote Jay Holmes today.
Yes, fish. Great hustle.
Unspeakables still with their starting lineup on. Raptors having brought in, I said Chris Lawrence and replacing Callum Lake. And who will be replacing the injured Geneva Chambers? And we are back. We turned the camera off a little bit out of respect for injury, but we seem to be nearly ready to get back underway. Geneva Chambers looks to be back up on her feet. And number 26 for the Raptors is coming in to replace her. Also, update on the scoreline. Alberto Salvador's goal has been retroactively called good. Chris Scholes-Lawrence's attempt has been called no good.
That is the score.
But I believe it is Raptors ball in their keeper zone. And with Skull, Jay Holmes advancing the ball. Lucy Q coming up the side. Moaning Davis looking to prevent Lucy from taking out Brian. Holmes looking for an opening marked out by Salvador. Offloads to Chris Scholes-Lawrence. Scholes-Lawrence finds his way through McCartney to score in the middle hoop.
Too late. Set up.
Lucy moving behind the advancing Unspeakables line, looking to pin McCartney on one side of the pitch. Salvador is trying to shake loose, but Steve Withers is with him. Withers intercepts the pass to Salvador, but Salvador still has it. Offloads high. Rudy's the first one on the ball, but the attempt has been denied. Lucy Q just destroying the Unspeakables beaters, almost for fun. She does not look like she's breaking a sweat. But the Unspeakables have defended the play. Clutch defending from Rudy OA. But it is Raptors' ball. Rudy has taken it out of pitch. Lucy and Dan ensuring that the nearest bludger is about 8 miles away from any Unspeakable that can pick it up. So, gameplay has been stopped for a foul call. Raptors with bludger control, and looks like they will retain possession of the ball.
Argue for McCartney then. No.
And a yellow card is being distributed to Alex McCartney. Contact above the neck is the call.
Set the pick! Too big.
And Steve Withers finds his way through. And it is 40-10 to the Velociraptors. I will check the time now, or check the time in a moment. Alberto Salvador advancing the ball. Move away through Callum Lake, under pressure from Lucy Q. Deflects the bludger from Dan Trick. Alberto can't find Rudy. Bryant takes out the driver. Fisher looking to find a way through. Offloads to nobody. Raptors beaters operating behind the Unspeakables hoops. Nothing less than absolute destruction will do. And it's another goal for Steve Withers. Raptors beaters have exerted so much dominance in this game. They're not letting off even for a second. In terms of chaser gameplay, the Unspeakables are every bit as good as the Raptors. It's just the fact that Dan and Lucy have been demolishing their opposing numbers has ensured that the Raptors always have the lanes and the counter-attacks to take advantage of.
Thank you.
Rudy being forced off the back of the pitch.
Yes, James, hold it, mate!
And some clutch physicality at the death.
James! Excellent, man.
So Alberto Salvador has been pinged for a two-arm tackle. Ball is being reset to JT. There's no bludgers open hoop, but he has to get through McCartney. And he does. And it is 6-1, 60-10. Hattie Elvin's coming on for the Unspeakables.
6-1! 6-1! Let's turn the screw!
Still go Hattie!
Hattie Elvin setting the pick on JT. McCartney trying to fight through Elliot Fisher.
Nice work, Hattie!
Rudy, Obasi Adams and Elvins doing some excellent pick work in front of the Raptors hoops. Alberto shoots denied by Chris Lawrence. But McCartney's got the ball back to Salvador. They're going to have another go, and it's good! Excellent goal. The Unspeakables are back in this game. It is 6-2. Hattie Elvin's making a play on Scholes Lawrence, taken out by Dan Tricks. Scholes Lawrence resets back to JT. Pressure coming in from Rudy. Rudy also puts a hit in on Elliot Fisher, gently tapped out by Lucy Q. Ball comes out to James Thanangadan.
What time are we on?
Then in Gaydon, I actually don't know.
Push ball! Push ball! Time!
Chris Scholes Lawrence on the breakaway. And denied twice. Double deflection from Alex McCartney. Bring up some steam, powers through JT. Offloads, denied. Picked out of the air by Chris Lawrence. Lucy Q offloading Raptors' only bludger to partner Bill Orridge. A beta partnership I once heard described as absolutely unplayable for just how ridiculously OP it was. Fisher finds Ridley. McCartney's having none of it. Computer says no. And drive, says the Unspeakables. A little too late. Lucy Q wangs it at McCartney to no avail. He's fighting through one tackle, then another. Bill Orridge has recovered the bludger. But he's got it to Alberto. They did not make that easy for themselves. They could have taken advantage of that no bludgers a lot sooner, but a goal is a goal is a goal. It is 6-3. The Unspeakables are back in stitch range. It is 9 minutes 20, approaching the 10-minute mark, and the early Raptors dominance has seemingly been slightly countered by the Unspeakables forcing their way back into the game. Press coming from the Unspeakables. Bill Orange recovers the bludgeon. Jay Holmes with the quaffle. Bill Orange forcing Alberto Salvador all the way back to his hoops. Ollie Newen seeing off Lucy Q. He's injected some real life into the Unspeakables beta game since he came on. Definitely prepared to tango with the best beaters in the country. Hannah Ridley completely unmarked behind the hoops. Callum Lake being pressured by Elvins. Rudy comes in, big hit on Jay Holmes. Brings Jay Holmes to the deck. Holmes wraps him back up and brings him down again. Orange finally sees him off. Holmes is going through, finds Ridley. And it's more clutch defending from the Unspeakables. The crowd are starting to liven up. The Unspeakables subs box was deafening on that defensive play. Turn the screw, said Jay Holmes, and the Unspeakables said yes please. Matt Drummond and Georgie Rumney now on beating for the Unspeakables. Very, very hyper-aggressive beater is Matt Drummond. Has a pop at Lucy Q. But McCartney's pass is picked off by Callum Lake, and Callum Lake's on the breakaway. Oh, unlucky. Drummond was in the right place at the right time to defend that play, but just missed. And here's another goal for the Raptors to take them back beyond snitch range. It is 7-3 as we round the 10-minute mark.
Alex, you have the best start.
Alex is like step up.
Play the option pass. Play the option pass.
The McCartney Salvador 1-2 does it again. Steve Withers' reply is denied. London Unspeakables are up for this fight and the crowd are rallying behind them. Matt Drummond subs off, passes budget to Rumney. Lucy Q mugged off by Georgie Rumney. And Doug Bryant is on with the Unspeakables holding budget control. McCartney again with the ball. Time is 12:40.
12:40 time.
Big John Morris setting a pick on Jay Holmes. Alberto looking for a way through, loses his mark again. Salvador taken out by Orange. Ben Morton recovers the quaffle, runs it through the commentary box. Getting sent back to do it again. Ben Morton gets the quaffle loose and Fisher is able to recover it. Beaten out by Bryant.
Go Alex! Go Alex!
Alex McCartney mugs off Bill Orange. No, it's bludgeon.
Oh, we're all touching.
Oh, good point. I didn't see Alberto. McCartney looking a bit worn out. Tries to find Alberto, finds Elliot Fisher instead. Fisher's going to run in unopposed, thanks to Lucy Q getting the better of Doug Bryan. And it is 8-4. 14 minutes gone and only 4 goals separate the Velociraptors and the Unspeakables. Anybody's game. And Harry McGlenigan, the Bristol legend, is on for the Unspeakables. Meanwhile, Mikey Orange has replaced his big brother Peter. McCartney looking for a way through. Steve Withers taken out though on the return play. McGlenigan recovers the ball. But misplay by the Unspeakables allows the Raptors to make it up to 9-4. 14:58 is the time. 14:58 is the time, and the Unspeakables have used their timeout. What a game it's been. Unspeakables setting up some really well constructed attacks. Velociraptors, by contrast, getting a lot of their goals off the counter play. Lucy Q in particular forcing that little bit of chaos, the driving lane exactly when it's needed, has allowed Raptors to maintain the front foot in the game. The Unspeakables are definitely up for a fight. The question is, you can see Alex McCartney is getting really worn out. If he has to sub, can the Unspeakables maintain their pressure? The McCartney Salvador 1-2 has been the source of, I think, all of the Unspeakables goals. And to be fair, if the shoe fits, wear it. But the Velociraptors have a few more shoes than that to put on. And we are back underway. Bopple in the hands of Alex McCartney of the Unspeakables. He's on with Harry McGlenigan, Hattie Elvins and Rudy Abassi-Adams. Monique Davis and Doug Bryan in the beta game. Facing off against Chris Scholes, Lawrence, Steve Withers, Lucy Q, Mikey Orange, Elliot Fisher and Sarah Ridley. Mikey Orange trying to psych out Doug Bryan. Both trade. When Monique Davis is close enough that Lucy Q's not gonna try and put too much pressure on, but now she is. Alberto missing the height of the subbed off Alberto Salvador. It's Chris Scholes Lawrence on the breakaway. And it is 10-4. In the couple of minutes before the Seeker game, Raptors have established a 3-goal buffer between them and Stitch Range. McCartney with the ball up the left-hand side of the pitch. Ollie Newen and Paula Marmol and support. Hattie Elvin setting a pick on Elliot Fisher. Sorry, no, Chris Scholes Lawrence here. Lawrence gets through. McCartney's arm is tied up. Mikey Orange is there, just that little bit too quick, and McCartney's forced to give up possession. Rudy Owe gets caught too deep. McGlenigan puts the hit in. But the offload from Lawrence to Cat Jacks secures the goal.
Snitch is on pitch.
And the Snitch has entered the pitch. The opening Seeker battle will be between Callum Lake and Carl Kane Collery. And Lucy Q has finally subbed off for the first time in this game to be replaced by Emily Heimers. Emily Heimers missing Ollie Newen. McCartney's got a lot of space to play with now. Oh, JT slams Hattie Elvins to the deck. Rudy taken out before he can snaffle up the loose ball after McCartney's fell pass.
20 seconds, Seekers.
Mikey Orange. Mikey Orange wasn't quite able to beat Ollie Newen, but certainly removed him as a threat, allowing JT to finish off.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the Seekers are released. Callum Lake out ahead of the Irishman. Carl Kane Collery, the Leinster boy, facing off against one of the most physical seekers in the country. Meanwhile, McCartney again with the ball, waiting for his beaters to clear him an opening. Paula Marmel and Ollie Newen seeing off Emily Heimers. McCartney still can't quite connect with Rudy. They need Alberto back. That's been at least a few different... Oh my... That is a double pick was set against Alex McCartney, including a beater. An off-ball beater got involved, which to keep McCartney away from the Velociraptors driver. But the attack still comes to nothing. The score is 120 to 40. I called it wrong before. But yeah, they need Alberto back on. There's been at least the last few Unspeakables attacks I think would have resulted in a goal if the Unspeakables had a receiver with the height and reach of Alberto to get onto the end of McCartney's passes. McCartney resets under pressure as he's taken down in the tackle. Unspeakables recover the ball. Unspeakables having bludger control. And they're content to leave Callum Lake to fend for himself. And it's another goal! Number 52 for the Unspeakables finishes off a great well-worked attack despite a demolished hoop. Fabian Brunt on seeking and replacing Carl Kane Collery. Elliot Fisher being commanded to drive, shoots and scores. 10 minutes ago this was anyone's game. Now the Velociraptors have really expanded their lead. It is 130 to 50. Still a very respectable performance. Unspeakables making some very good danger plays. But have the Raptors now finally put this game away? The Unspeakables will need 5 unanswered goals to bring themselves back into snitch range.
He looks like the kind of person that would do a contract.
Dantrick takes out Alex McCartney. Jay Holmes nearly suffering the back tackle from Rudy. Resets to no one under pressure. And then Unspeakables have the opportunity to set the defence. Fabian Brunt taken out, allowing Ben Morton some time alone with the snitch. Supposed to call a man of the match at this point. I'd probably give it to jointly between Lucy Q and Ollie Newen. Both of whom have been some fantastic and really talismanic for their teams in the beta game, clearing a lot of lanes. JT with the ball in the middle of the pitch, looking for a way through Rudy, the professional bodybuilder. Stepping up to put a hit in. Ball offloaded to Jay Holmes. Mikey Orange on seeking, alone with the snitch. Very nearly had it. Tickled that one. Fabian Brunt managing to interpose himself at last. Another Raptors attack comes to nothing. The bludgers are on the floor and Rudy's off to the races. That's all gets into. Looks for Viconi, who finishes. 130 to 60. I said they needed 5 unanswered goals. They've got 1, 4 to go. Unspeakables are still really up for a fight, but Mikey Orange has all the time alone with the snitch.
You got this, Mikey!
But it's another goal for the Raptors. Oh! Dangerous kick being called. Becky Thompson dangerously kicking the ball away from Ollie Newen. Bludger control has been re-awarded to the Unspeakables as a result. Doug Bryant comes on to replace Ollie Newen. McCartney smashing his way through. He's just knocked over 4 Unspeakables chasers like bowling pins. Beaten out of spite by Dantrick. Too little too late. 140-70. 47, 4 more goals The Unspeakables need to bring this game back into range.
First snitch handicap!
First handicap has been called. The snitch will be constrained to the centre line. Rudy, the big boy, brings down Jay Holmes, taken out by Dan Trick. Callum Lake on seeking against Fabian Brunt. Banger rematch. Oh, the big boys from Bangor facing off against each other in the Seeker game. Callum Lake now is having some alone time. Oh, he had an opportunity there. Couldn't quite take advantage of it before Bruntby interposes himself. Unspeakables now enjoying bludger control with Monique Davis and Doug Bryan. Brunt muscling Lake back. Dan Trick taking his time. Removes Brunt from the equation. Ooh, Lake was so close there. Unspeakables look to set up another attack. McCartney with the ball again. Lake sent packing by Monique Davis. Carl Kane Collery back on in replacement of Fabian Brunt. They know they need to keep the big boys on seeking because the Raptors are going to do the same, and Ben Morton replaces Callum Lake. Doug Bryant trying to force the lane against Dan Trick. McCartney goes through. 140 to 80. First it was 5, then it was 4, now it is 3 more goals the Unspeakables need. It is a tough ask, but it is doable. And this is tougher than anyone has run the Raptors in quite a while. If I may be so bold, and I'm probably going to jinx it, I think Unspeakables have certainly proven that it is a big 4, not a big 3 with this game. Rudy Obasi-Adams smashes Jay Holmes to the deck, but Ridley's on the ball. Geneva Chambers back in the game, nearly on the end of that.
Was that contact in the fence?
Rudy Obasi-Adams being yellow carded for an illegal hit on Jay Holmes. Holmes will now have a voluptuous run into the hoops. Number 14 looking to interpose herself. Can she take on the big lad? He has to jink past 1, 2 and then finish off in the safer option of the third hoop. 150 to 80. It's a 70-point game again. 4 more goals to the Unspeakables need. As a general summary of the game so far, for the first 10 minutes it was anybody's game. Then we had several minutes of sustained Raptors dominance. Now the Unspeakables look to be fighting back into it. They are now scoring more goals than the Raptors. It's like one Raptors goal for every 2 Unspeakables, but they are taking so long to happen. It may yet be a bridge too far. Ben Morton trying to wrestle past Carl Ken Collery. Speaking of wrestling, McCartney batters his way through several chasers, but can't quite connect, can't quite get it onto the ends. McCartney couldn't quite finish the play off, but Steve Withers forced his way through several beaters to score. 160 to 80. Mikey Orange mugs off Carl Kent Collery. Gets forced off the stitch in return. Ooh. Orange is wheeling around. Meanwhile, McCartney and Hattie Elvins looking to force Jay Holmes away from the couple. Geneva Chambers is getting involved as well. Advantage being called against the Unspeakables. Conadu and signals a stoppage in play. Oh, I found a chair and I'm bloody well nicking it.
Like you did when you almost got it. You just want to see
And play has resumed with no call. McCartney looking for a way through Holmes. Orange looking for a way through Kane Collery. Such a dance happening as everyone tries to fake each other out. Everybody's looking for an opening. Elvins comes around to set the pick, freeing up McCartney. McCartney puts it high. Alberto finishes it off. I stand by everything I said about they need Alberto back on. The extra height on that man is allowing McCartney to convert all the opportunities he's been creating. Mikey Orange given some alone time by his big brother. Jay Holmes looking for a way through, shoots, scores. The Raptors re-established.
Second stitch handicap!
It is 170 to 90. The second handicap has been called. The snitch is down to a single arm. And Callum Legg has all the time in the world. He eats these kind of one-arm snitches for breakfast. Misses that time. Matt Drummond sees off the Unspeakable, the Velociraptor seeker that is seen off in return. And that is another goal for the Raptors to re-establish a dominant lead. Oh, Callum Lake tickles the snitch but can't quite finish it. He's having another go though. They're going to rest. Oh, downs the snitch in the process. Normally it's meant to be the snitch runner that throws the seekers to the floor. That time it was the other way around. Fabian Brunt on keeping. McCartney finally calling it a day, and who can blame him? He's had a hell of a game and a hell of a long shift. Brunt finds Alberto. Alberto tries to pass to Matt Drummond, but does find Hattie Elvins. This time Hattie Elvins attempts to pass to Lucy Q. Lucy Q tells Matt Drummond, please just let me love you. Matt Drummond says no. Matt Drummond swipes right. Was it swipe left? I don't know. Another Unspeakables attack comes to nothing. Steve Withers going up the side of the pitch with Elliot Fisher and Sarah Ridley in support. Ben Morton getting some alone time on the snitch. John Morris interposing himself though. He's another big Kiwi boy. The Unspeakables I think the Unspeakables are secretly they're secretly just a factory for turning out big muscly Kiwis. Oh! Elliot Fisher passes to score. The long loopy pass overhead that goes through the middle hoop anyway because reasons. Lucy Q aims at Fabian Brunt and takes out him and Georgie Rumney. And Steve Withers is on the loose ball. Rumney can't interpose herself. And it is 190. It's either 190 or 200 to 90. The scorekeepers are fumbling with the scorecard a bit. It looks like Raptors have all but put this game away now. For long periods it was anybody's game, but the Raptors were able to then establish a lead that the Unspeakables just have not been able to overcome, though they have very valiantly chipped away at it. Alberto looking to chip away at it again. Deflects Bill Orange's bludger and recovers the ball. Attempts to find Fabian Brunt but finds Elliot Fisher instead. Elliot Fisher advancing slowly. Finds Steve Withers, who breaks the hoop and doesn't score. Breaks the hoop and does score on the second attempt. Steve Withers had a really good game as well. Mikey Orange again getting some alone time with the snitch. Mugs off John Morris, but Morris forces him away again. Okay, the scorekeeper, after some scoreboard fumbling, the score now stands at 210 to 90. The depth of the Raptors is telling. The Unspeakables now have several of the second string on. McCartney's absolutely played out of his mind, but he can't sustain it. Rob's taken out. Elliot Fisher picks off the pass that was meant for Salvador. And Fisher scores again to make it 20 to 90. It's not so much that the Raptors have been the dominant team in this game. It's simply that their depth has allowed them to grind it out. They were the dominant team between about the 10th and the 16th minute. Other than that, it's been relatively level pegging with the Raptors only slightly ahead. But now, obviously, their depth has shown. They can cycle through teammates without any drop in quality. The Unspeakables now having to rely on tired first string players and fresh second string, which just isn't enough. Third handicap has been called. The Snitch now trying to fight off Callum Lake with one arm on the centre line. And Callum Lake might well have just ended the game. Excellent Snitch catch. Congratulated by John Morris. As I said, Raptors dominant between the 10th and 16th minute and dominant in snitch on pitch as the Unspeakables were just ground down by the quality of their opposition. Not necessarily dominated, just simply outlasted. And fair play, the depth on the Raptors lineup is nothing short of incredible. And it's all over. The final score, 260 to 90, a performance that doesn't do credit to the Unspeakables' efforts, but does highlight just how long the Raptors can just grind a game out. Fair play to both sides, what a match.